Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about how we should update the enemy's screen pause variable. We're going to use the knight's world pause variable to do this. This is something we had to do with the prop class, as the prop's screen position needed to change as the knight moves around throughout the map. Let's get started. Now here's the problem we're trying to solve. As the knight moves around, you'll see that the enemy is at the upper left corner of the screen and doesn't actually move, as opposed to our props here, the rock and the log, which stay stuck to the map. So we need to fix this. As the character moves around throughout the map, the enemy stays in the upper left corner of the screen, and this is because the enemy's screen pause variable has been declared and initialized using braced initialization, so it has a vector2 value of 0, 0, and we're never actually updating that value. Now, what we want to happen is as the character moves throughout the map, and the map is being drawn at various different locations, we need the enemy's location to move along with the map. Now, in order to place the enemy at the correct location, we need to know the knight's world pause, which is the vector from the upper left corner of the map to the upper left corner of the screen. Now, if we take this vector and flip it by essentially multiplying it by -1, then we get the vector from the upper left corner of the screen to the upper left corner of the map. So by taking the enemy's world position and subtracting away the knight's world position, then we get the position on the map where the enemy needs to be. So this is your challenge. In enemy's tick function, set the screen pause variable. Use vector2 subtract so we can subtract the knight's world pause. Remember, we have a pointer to the character. It's called target. The value that we need to set screen pause to is going to be the enemy's world pause minus the character's world pause. You're going to need RayMath in order to use vector2 subtract. Do all this before we call the base character's tick function. The reason is the base character's tick function uses screen pause to draw the enemy to the screen. That screen pause vector needs to have the correct value before we use it. Pause the video and do this now. So here we are in enemy.cpp, and here's our tick function. Now just above the call to the base character version of tick, we're going to need to use vector2 subtract, which means we need to include RayMath. So let's include RayMath at the top here. It's going to be raymath.h. Now we can use vector2 subtract, and we're going to set the value of screen pause equal to vector2 subtract, and what we're subtracting is the enemy's world pause minus the world pause of the character. Now we can access that by getting our pointer, which we call target, and using the arrow operator and calling get world pause. And now screen pause is set to the correct value. Let's hit run and start debugging. Now as we move the character around, the enemy stays stuck to the map, just like the props. Perfect. In summary, we updated the enemy's screen position using the knight's world position. This way the enemy doesn't just stick to the upper left corner of the screen. Nice job. I'll see you in the next video.